The series begins with showing a boy riding a cycle, distributing newspapers door to door. A man opens the door and picks up the newspaper and solves crossword puzzle inside the house. Then the man grooms himself. As the camera focuses to his face, we find out that the man was the same guy who experimented 11. Then the camera show the secret laboratory in Hawkins. Inside the laboratory, a bunch of kids were shown who were practicing their abilities. Then the door was opened by Dr. Brenner. He goes towards number 10 and takes him in a room. The doctor draws a figure in a paper and lets number 10 to find out what he has drawn in the paper without seeing it. Actually, the doctor was furnishing number 10's ability. Then the doctor tells him that he will make the task more challenging. He asks number 10 to find out Dr. Ellis by using his abilities. While number 10 tries to do that task, he sees Dr. Ellis and number 6 screaming to their death. Suddenly, the siren starts ringing. The doctor gets tensed. He realized that something bad is going on outside the door. As he tries to open the door, someone behind the door knocks him down to black out. After some times, when the doctor wakes up, he sees all the kids and the staffs were brutally killed. The doctor arrives in a room. He sees 11 and tells her what she had done. Now the scene changes to the present day at our protagonist room. She writes a letter to her dear Mike, telling him she feels good staying in California. She also writes that she is looking forward to enjoy the spring break with Mike when he comes to California. The scene shows 11 making a school assignment. We also got a brief info about the new life of Joyce. She got a new work from home job. Then a van arrives near 11's house. A weird guy with long hair come out of his van. That guy is Jonathan's friend. Then 4 of them lives the spot and goes to school. Now 11 and Will walked on a crowded hallway. 11 waves at a red-headed girl who ignores her. As she sits down in her desk, a split ball splats in her cheek. The other students laughs at her and make fun of her. It seems like all those things that 11 wrote to Mike was just a lie. Later in Hawkins, Mike reads 11's letter and then he leaves the room and goes to school with his sister. In a room, Susie helps Dustin to increase his grades in Latin subject by hacking the Hawkins High School students records page. Then Susie changed the grade to an A. Elsewhere in a car, Steve and Robin talks about Vicky. Steve tells Robin to be herself when is near Vicky. In Hawkins High School, Max gets out of the bus with a dull expression. A lady with curled hair calls out for Max. She asks her why she hasn't shown up in her office yesterday, and asks her to come today after lunch. That lady is the counselor of the school. Then the camera shifts to a cheerleaders performing in a court. There we see a blonde-haired girl, beaming at the center. In the gallery, Dustin tries to convince Mike that his new friend Susie is great. And then the basketball player arrives at the court, and Lucas was in the team. The captain of the team holds the mic and greets the team. Then he shows his love towards Chrissy in front of the crowd. Lucas spots at Max in an enthusiastic way. But Max looks away. The captain of the team tells the crowd that his team will win the championship trophy tonight. Hearing this, Mike and Dustin gets disappointed because they realize that Lucas could not join them to play Dragon and Dungeons in the Hellfire Club, as has to participate tonight's basketball match. Later, they tries to convince Lucas, but Lucas tells them that he is tired of being bullied. And he doesn't want to be a nerd, then making a disappointed face. Lucas goes back to his classroom. In California, Joyce receives a weird Russian doll through the postal service. After seeing the doll, she gets tensed, because all the bad things that happened with her flashed in her eyes. In a classroom, 11 presents her assignment in front of the class. She picks up the figure of Hopper and tells the class that Hopper is her hero. Hearing this, all the students burst out in laughter. Tears fell from 11's eyes. Angela raised her hand and tells that the assignment should be based on famous historical people. The teacher agrees with Angela's statement, but she lets 11 to continue her presentation. Later, 11 come out of the class disappointed. Will tries to comfort her, but she goes away from Will. At Hawkins High, Max walks through hallway. She notices Chrissy's in distracted mood. Later in a bathroom, Max grips the sink and looks in a dirty mirror intensely. She slowly turns her head back, noticing a girl vomiting in a toilet. That girl was Chrissy. Max asks her if she's okay or not, but Chrissy tells her to leave. Max leaves the spot. Later, Chrissy starts hearing her mother's voice. The light starts blinking and a pair of dark flash peeled off leg appears below the door. Chrissy gets scared seeing this. And then someone smashes the door roughly. After some moment, things turn back to normal. Then Chrissy goes into a wooden area, where she again sees a clock in an unusual area. She notices lots of black widow spiders are bursting out of the clock. And suddenly, Eddie interrupts her. Chrissy came to buy marijuana from Eddie. She thought that taking drugs would help her avoid this hallucination. Then both Eddie and Chrissy had good talk. There was something good sparkled between them. In California, Joyce tries to smash the Russian doll with a paint can. After Joyce smashes the doll, Murray tells her to search the doll. Joyce finds a letter in the doll. After reading the letter, Joyce discovers that Hopper is alive. Later at night, Max comes out of her house and feeds the dog. Then she notices Eddie and Chrissy entering Eddie's house. Chrissy came to Eddie's place to get drugs from him. As Eddie was searching the stuff, Chrissy started to see crazy things again. Suddenly, she realized that she is in a different house. A monstrous figure started following her. Chrissy starts running away, till she reached a dead end. The monstrous figure comes closer to Chrissy. And then he raises dark black claw-shaped hands towards her face. He tells her it's time to go. In reality, Chrissy's body was floating in air and sticks to the roof. Her arms and legs breaks in an unnatural angle. And her eyes got sucked back into her skull. So guys, this was all for today's video. Thanks for watching.